Hi, everybody. It's the crafting author, Pamela Torrey, reading Madcap Family. We are on episode 31, Ultrasound. Stella showered and got ready for her ultrasound. Dr. Wills said that because this was for sure her last baby, to bring the whole crew. Stella, Nettie, and Alden went in first. Annie sat with the kids. Dr. Wills explained that he needed to do a preliminary check just to make sure all was well before the family stepped in. Stella was surprised how excited all the kids were. They could not wait to see their last and final sibling. Stella laid on the table in a gown, waiting for the doctor to come in. Nettie and Alden sat in chairs facing away from the monitor. How are we going to see the baby if the screen is facing that way? Nettie asked. Every time they did this in the past, the doctor would do a quick check. Stella could not see either. I think it is to make sure that all is well. Dr. Wills turns the screen so we all can see, plus he takes pictures. Nettie was so excited. Nettie turned towards Stella. Stella, you look nervous, hon, or cold. You look cold. I'm going to ask them to get you a blanket. Stella was cold. She never liked that gel that they squirted on her belly either. Nettie came back. They gave me a nice warm blanket from the blanket warmer. I would love to have one of those. Thank you, Nettie. That is much better, Stella replied. Nettie was still adjusting Stella's blanket when Doc walked in. Dr. Will said hi to Nettie. I am so glad you get to be here, Nettie. It's a real treat to see a grandchild before it pops out. Nettie laughed. Alden did not just pop out, if you remember. He took forever. Dr. Wills laughed. I remember. There I was, fresh out of medical school. I also remember how you wanted your tubes tied the second he was born. Nettie grimaced. You wouldn't do it, though. You looked like a baby delivering my baby. Then you made me wait 3 months just to be sure I knew my own mind. I made sure I did not get pregnant. I did not let Seeley touch me once. Well, let's have a look at this cutie. Dr. Wills positioned the screen a bit. Sure enough, none of them could look yet. Dr. Wills squirted the gel on Stella's belly. Dr. Wills turned on the machine. He placed the ultrasound wand on her stomach and started moving it around. He paused, moved the wand again. He stopped and typed in some information. Then the wand moved again. Dr. Wills said. What? Stella asked. Everything is okay, Doc, right? Asked Alden. Yes, no worries, Doc said as he continued to work. Uh-huh, Dr. Wills said. Alden looked at Stella. She shrugged. You sure everything is okay, Doc? Alden questioned. Doc glanced at Alden. I'm almost done. Everything is great. Dr. Will stopped. He turned to the three of them as he turned the screen. He said nothing. Stella looked at the screen. She could see a head and another head. Stella's jaw dropped. Nettie said, I'm confused. Is it supposed to look like that? Alden hesitated. He was not sure what he was seeing. Stella started giggling. She put her hand over her mouth. Her giggle turned into a nervous, high-pitched chuckle. Her chuckle turned into outright laughter. Then she was roaring. Stella laughed so hard that tears streamed down her face. Stella was well and truly hysterical. She rocked back and forth. She tried sitting up, but she would then collapse back down onto the table. Stella roared while she slapped the side of the table. There is not one, but, Stella gasped and gave up on talking. Alden could not understand what was going on. He looked at Dr. Wills. Doc, she's losing it. What in the world? Alden murmured. Nettie looked closer at the screen. She smacked her forehead. Then she grinned and turned to Alden and informed him, Oh, I see. Look, Alden, two heads, two babies. You are having twins again. Alden's eyes shot to the screen. Now that his mother said it, it was all so clear. Two heads, two babies. Stella was still laughing hysterically. Alden surged to his feet. His mouth dropped open. Then his eyes rolled back in his head. All all of Alden's 6'4", very large barge of a man passed out, crashing to the floor. Nettie screamed. Dr. Wills called for a nurse. Stella pointed at Alden and laughed even harder. She fell back onto the bed, laughing uncontrollably. The children and Annie heard the chaos. They pushed through the door. The room was now filled to the brim. Annie's eyes switched from Stella, who was still hysterical, then to Alden on the floor. She looked to Nettie for an explanation. Nettie smiled and shrugged. She said one word: twins.